request Mr. Ravi. He is the Vice President at Tech Mahindra. So as you know, Mahindra, of course, is one of the premier company in terms of automobile. I'm sure they must be working on a lot of automotives. I think Tech Mahindra is a purely software company. I'm not sure whether they will be developing any hardware also. So his topic is predictive maintenance, probably using some AI algorithms and kind of stuff. So over to you, Ravi. Ravi is 20 years experience in digital transformations and digital enterprises architect. Over to you, Ravi.
Is there anyone without battery here? No one, right? We all have batteries we are carrying with us. So battery has become a part of the life. Do we all know how to predict? Day doesn't pass without getting into prediction. And that prediction happens through AI. You want to start from home to come here. You just open your Google map and find out, okay, how much time it is going to take. But some of the things you leave it to God also, but most of the time you reach it, right? So that's why we need prediction. Now we heard about batteries, we heard about inverters, we heard about the testing. Now we need a doctor to verify all these things, right? That is what I'm going to do here, right? I'm going to help you to predict how your battery is performing, or how your vehicle is performing, or how your automotive is performing, or anything for that instance. Now we are living with predictive maintenance. We want to avoid any breakdowns. We want to avoid any unplanned maintenance schedules, right? And we want to keep system up and running all the time. That is where the predictive maintenance comes handy. So myself, Ravi Pandikunta, I had the data and AI and automation in Tech Mahindra, take care of enterprise customers. So let us look at some of those predictions and what is the market we have. And where do we see for the EVs marketplace, right? If you look at the McKinsey report and which countries are leading and what is the growth and what is the percentage of penetration, you see a huge opportunity for EV. Now whether grid is ready, infrastructure is ready, or people are ready to invest and buy, those are leaving aside. It is going to be EV world for sure, right? It may be 5 years as Sir said, or it may be 10 years. For sure we are going to live in that one, right? Starting from your home, most of the homes today we have inverters, we have a UPS at home, right? When power goes off also we don't know most of the time until your UPS is also some maintenance activities required. And a lot of power is getting generated from solars. We need batteries. Now battery has become like a food. Without battery, the life itself is becoming a challenging, right? That is the kind of life we are living in today. Now with that, if we have some prediction, if we have some health parameters to monitor, does it help? Absolutely it will help to keep your batteries, to keep your vehicles, or to keep the things with you ahead of time so that you can plan, you can make those things ready as well, right? That is the whole purpose we will talk here. Now if you look at some of the use cases here, right? Starting from using AI, ML, blockchain, some of the security concepts, we want to control our network access, we want to avoid any threats, right? We want to integrate our cyber security tools and technologies and constrain the network. That is what we wanted to look at it. And all the way looking at charging stations, right, inventories, supply chain management, OEMs, vendors, and the partners who can do the servicing. For everybody, there is a job, there is a work where they can run, where they can do their job. When mobiles came, we were all thinking, oh, what happens to STD, ISD booths, right? Every corner we had. And all of a sudden, those have become mobile shops today. Nothing has been changed. So constantly change is what we are experiencing. The transformation is happening all the time, right? Today we have petrol bunks. All the petrol pumps might become charging stations down the line, right? Now, how are we going to generate that much power? There may be alternatives we will find out, right? That's where we are heading. So the change is constant and every one of us will be part of the transformation journey and lot of use cases, lot of opportunities across the globe. And software companies, hardware companies, testing or services, everywhere we see the opportunity to be part of this entire transformation and expand that one. Lot of use cases, and predictive maintenance is one of the key thing. Anything we do today, you don't believe, we are monitoring rail engines to look at the vibrations through sensors, to look at water loss, to look at heat, to look at various components and predict when that engine requires a maintenance, when that engine requires some repair, right? As simple as heavy engines and all the way to simple components, we do that one. Taking it to utility companies, energy companies, water treatment, manufacturing, any of those things, all we monitor those things. How we do, what we do, we can look at it. And what is the value chain? What type of solutions you want to look at it across, being your product, production, performance and experience. Everywhere you see the use cases being built and it can be addressed through AI, right? That's what we want to bring in, AI and automation. All this data is getting gathered, right? If you look at your mobile phone, look at Google, how much data it collects. When you visit between two offices, right, and again if you go next time, it will exactly tell you when did you come last time to that office and how long you have spent there and all other things, right? That is how the companies are benefiting and tracking us even without knowing. The data is business, data is monetization. With that data, we will be able to predict. With that data, we will be able to do better things for us, right? That's what all about. Now, if you see as a maintenance, right, what do we have? Different types of maintenance, condition-based maintenance, and we have life cycle maintenance, right? And we also do some run to fail. Until it fails, we don't touch it. When fails, we'll repair it, right? Now we are heading towards the predictive maintenance. That is where we wanted to head and maximize the life cycle of any asset. Any asset. It may be as simple as like your mobile phone, right? They wanted to maximum use the battery until it dies. Then you replace it, or it may be at the time when it is ready, you replace it. That is where we are heading across the industries. We wanted to look at these concepts and see how we can take it to the next level. This is a typical concept, AI ML framework, if you see here, and start gathering from the data, right? We want to look at historical data. Like when you go to doctor, you will ask, okay, how long you have been having this disease or some uneasiness, and what was the previous test reports, what is the current test reports, what is the learning you want to do, and how you want to give that input for the next level of his outcome, right? Similarly, any component we monitor, for example, if your car, if you put your car into charging station, we want to monitor, right? We want to take the data. We want to look at life cycle of the battery, how many times it has been charged, discharged, what is the cycle of discharges, how frequently it is getting discharged, right? And then we wanted to suggest, okay, this is the time for replacement. At the same time, we take other use cases. We want to inform dealers, we want to inform suppliers to keep those things ready so that when you visit, all the things happen smoothly. The customer experience is also taken care. So it drives many additional and many features across the down, right? Now gathering data, putting into automated ML models, getting alerts, right? You might have seen previous alerts, periodic maintenance. Okay, sir, 6 months over, now your car is due for service. Now it's not like that, right? There is a flashlight you get in your dashboard when it is ready for oil change, when it is ready for battery change or any of those things. Now with electrical vehicles, it is going to be more and more, right? So the number of components also coming down. You don't have heavy engine, you don't have combustion, you don't have pistol, you don't have plugs, you don't have any of those, right? Now the additional components are getting added and additional type of services are required across the board now. So that is where we see some differences as well. Now once you have the data and you can plan it, you can inform the technicians, you can inform the maintenance, you can also look at having this data readily available across the board. What is that you can plan and how do you monetize this data as well is very important thing. Okay. Now we built one of the solutions. I want to talk about transferring between electrical vehicles and your CTV vehicles, right? When we want to monitor a vehicle, there are various components in the vehicle. You have coolant, you have oil subsystem, you have other components, right? We need to monitor everything. When you go to a doctor, right? If you complain of a particular like headache, you want to talk about that, right? And you want to talk about any other diseases, complaining, resulting that. Similarly, in a vehicle, we want to look at oil pressure, coolant, engine, voltage, and look at various components and predict, okay, this component over a period of time is not performing as expected. Now it is time for maintenance or repair. So with this, the companies are able to offer, how many of you are aware, I'm not sure, but if you look at aircraft engines, the GE is being paid when engine is up in the air. When it is down for maintenance, that the aerospace, their companies don't pay them, right? So the primary factor, uptime, is the maintenance, the money for them. For any reason, if it is down, right, either they have an alternative engine to go on, or they should plan something. So same conditions coming into the commercial vehicles today. Most of the OEMs are being asked, okay, what is that can you do for me, right? Can you take care of maintenance by yourself? Can you give me the data elements? So OEM started using telematics. OEM started collecting the data from the vehicle, looking at the vehicle, and also informing to the ownership, saying this vehicle is running this good and it is good to go some more time, right? Or it requires maintenance. When it is required maintenance, they will also plan it and they will get it done from the dealers. So that is the kind of service is coming. In India, Ashok Leyland started, Volvo Trucks also started, and the TVS Motors started, a couple of them, right? You have many city-wise offices in US and many other countries, they have these things. So this predictive maintenance is able to help, number one, reduce the downtime. Number two, reduce the maintenance cost because you are pre-planned. You are not doing on urgent basis, right? And number three, it is able to maximize the life cycle of the components or the parts because you can use up to maximum. You don't need to replace it periodic changes, right? That is what all about it. Now, what do we do in Tech Mahindra, right? To bring in this zero disruptions, to bring in this data together, right? And how do we want to gather and collect it? So, data is a fuel. Data is everything today. We live in data, right? How do we get that data? How do we harmonize the data? And how do we use that data for our day-to-day operations or for predicting the future? That is what we all had in Tech Mahindra, right? To look at it. Now, look at some of the changes happening across the board, either being in production or being at customer place or in production, product development as well. Across the board, a lot of changes being done, and you see metaverse being discussed about it, AR, VR, right? And you also see AI ops, data ops. The more software, the more additional services we need. Now, a car is running on software, so you need many more things to take care of those things as well, right? That is where we support companies to look at it. Now, how do we take the AI, right? Being it a automotive industry or being it a retail or being it anywhere else, right? We start with a small use cases, either functional or technical. We try to combine and we look at what is the ROI, and we also look at how do we democratize those things. That is where we see a larger benefit in the enterprise. Once it is democratized, and how do we scale that one? How do we take that to across enterprises? If you look at the big enterprises, right? Take it for example, in India, you might have seen Flipkart, or you might have seen any recently buying car experience. They wanted to change the customer experience and they want to recommend as well, right? That is where these other things will help you. And even if you look at, okay, what is going to be the market for a given product, we can predict all the things and what would be the supply, what would be the demand forecasting, whole bunch of other things we can look at it. Now, this is the key design and architecture we follow, right? Typically, if you look at number of data sources, take example your car, right? Your car has many components. For example, starting from your usage, where do you use your car, right? How do you drive? Do you drive more urban or rural? And what type of roads you are using, right? What type of driver are you? Do you do fast driving or do you do sudden barking or do you do shortcuts, things like that, right? This is all data elements. Some data comes from structured, some data comes from IoT data, some data comes from in terms of unstructured as well. So we try to collect, we try to process, transform, harmonize, store, and then start getting the insights from that data, right? That's where we see the benefits of that. And how do you visualize and monetize that data, right? We have end-to-end data lifecycle, and how do we help companies, right? Being it either cloud or on-prem, or being it data transformation, data quality, a lot of governance comes into picture. Like one of the speaker was talking, right? Various regions, various standards. Once upon a time, when you buy computer in other regions, right, then you have to buy adapter changes, then plug-in. And today, we have become little bit smarter, and manufacturer also become smarter. They support a range of voltage from 100 to 230 voltage. So any country, same circuit works, right? That is how the changes are happening. Global adoption is increasing. So those are the ultimate changes. You can look at it. Now, ultimately, the data and AI has to marry together. That is what the platform we created, and that is how we wanted to help customers getting the data stored, processed, and be benefit from the data through AI. Lot of AI use cases is there. We just spoke about one of the predictive maintenance use case. You can use it for forecasting. You can use it for your customer recommendations. You can use it for any diagnostics. You can use it for testing. You can use it for many other things. So I will be happy more to connect with you offline and see if there are something we can help you in your organization, or you want to know more, you can connect me via LinkedIn as well. Thank you so much.
Can I ask Shailesh to come over and give the memento to Ravi? Thank you, Ravi.